Hello, Helena family. Welcome to our Meet the Teacher presentation. I am Mr. Marquez, the school principal, and I'm honored to welcome you today to our 2020-2021 school year. I know that as we get ready to start the school year, there are a lot of questions, and we're here today to give you hopefully all the information that you need as you get ready for instruction on Tuesday, September the 8th, our first day of school. You will find links on our webpage for grade level presentations for 9th through 12th grade. And in those links, you will be introduced to the administrator for each grade level and also to the teachers for the respective grade levels. What I'm going to do here today is just give a general presentation for all of Southwest that you can use to start off this information for Meet the Teacher. And then what I would recommend is that you click on the link on our webpage for the appropriate grade level for your child or for your children. And you can view those as they are recorded and will be archived on our webpage. First of all, each grade level will be going over their specific grade level expectations. However, generally, campus-wide expectations are that all students adhere to the student code of conduct. At its most basic level, this means that we have respect for ourselves, for each other, and of course for our rules and our building. Our bell schedule, I'm going to go over that in a little bit more detail, but we did build in a bell schedule that follows our start and end times and reduces our instructional time by a little bit so that we can have longer breaks in between classes. I'm going to go ahead and explain now what the synchronous and asynchronous learning means. So synchronous learning means that students will log in to the online classes as if they were at school in person. They will follow their schedule that's been assigned to them, and each period they will log into whatever class is on their schedule. They will have access to live instruction from the teacher. They will be able to interact with the teacher and with their classmates, ask questions, and learn in a live manner. This is the method that we highly recommend, that we are hoping that 99% of our students follow, because it is most conducive to learning in this online environment. The other model is called asynchronous learning. And asynchronous learning, it works well for students that need more flexibility. We understand that there are great challenges in online learning and that not all students will be able to access their devices or be available for learning during the day at regular hours. So asynchronous learning allows students to log in at any time throughout the day for their classes and have access to the work, which will be recorded by every teacher, and have access to turn in their assignments. It is a little bit self-paced, and the only guideline is that every student has to check in at least once per day before midnight to receive credit for attendance. We will continue to follow an A-B schedule at the high school, which means that on certain days we have a schedule of A classes, and on other days we have a schedule for our B day classes. So that will continue so that students can have access to taking more classes and earning more credit throughout the semester. For dress code, I know that there are a lot of questions. Uniforms are not required during the online learning period, but we do have a dress code in place, and we expect our students to dress appropriately because they may be called on by their teacher to participate, and at times they may be asked to turn their cameras on, and so we want our students dressed appropriately. The attendance rule is very important because going back to our synchronous and asynchronous learning schedules, students will be able to check in anytime during the day for each of their classes, as long as it is between 12 midnight and before the end of 11:59 p.m. the same day. So we have to follow the state's guideline of the 90% attendance rule, which means that if students are not in attendance 90% or more of the time that the classes are offered, they may pass the class with their grades, but that credit will be withheld in what's called an NG. That will continue. We will have to enforce that. So It is expected that our students check in every single day. And like I said earlier, they can learn synchronous, which is the recommended method, or they can follow the asynchronous method, which allows for more flexibility. But either way, they will need to check in for each of their classes at least once per day. And that is just for attendance. The work that is done and is expected to be done, that is what counts for the grades. We highly encourage our students to use their PSJA email addresses. This will facilitate everything that we do in terms of communicating with our students, and also for them to access many of the resources that are available through PSJA, such as Microsoft Office, email, Home Access Center, and things like that. On the topic of Home Access Center, that is available for students and parents. The link is up on the screen. And this is a resource for parents and students to monitor their child's attendance, their grades, if there's any discipline issues or concerns. You can also communicate with your teachers via Home Access Center and with your principal. So we not only highly recommend, but we would really urge you to start using Home Access Center if you don't already use it. If you have trouble logging in or you forget your credentials as a parent, you can call our school and speak to any of our PIMS clerks, and they can help you reset your password or know which email you use for home access. If you are a student, any teacher, counselor, or administrator can help you. All you have to do is email us, and we will help you reset your password. Our social media page of Facebook has our most updated information and announcements, so I would encourage you to follow our social media Facebook page. And more importantly, our webpage has all the information that I'm going through here today. We also include on there presentations like this one, and we have a lot of resources for you. And in a little bit, I will walk you through that webpage and show you what it looks like. So here's a bell schedule that I described earlier. Normally during the school year, when we were not in this pandemic, classes started at 8:30 and ended at 4:10. Now, during the online period and throughout the school year, we will continue also to keep that schedule as far as the start and end times. The difference is that our single classes used to be 45 minutes and our double classes used to be 90 minutes. We've cut them down so that now our singles are 40 minutes and our doubles are 80. And what that allows us to do is, you notice after first and second period, that 80-minute block, there's a student break of 30 minutes. We think that allowing students to have these longer breaks, and our teachers as well, will help with their social and emotional well-being. It's their physical well-being, allowing them to get up and stretch, go get something to eat, take a little break, and then when they come back from that 30-minute break, they'll have another either 40-minute single or 80-minute block. This schedule also allows us to provide a longer lunch period. Normally our students get a 30-minute lunch when we're learning in person. Now we will have a 60-minute lunch for them during the online learning period. They'll come back in the afternoon after lunch for 5th and 6th period of 80 minutes, and then they get a 10-minute break. Now this part here we're calling it optional because probably on Mondays we'll have it mandatory for everybody. And the schedule will look like this, where they get a 10-minute break, a 20-minute advisory or enrichment period, and then that'll be followed by their last 80-minute block. After the Monday, what we'll probably do is make that optional advisory enrichment be, as it says there in the title, be optional, so that the students will have that 30-minute break after the third 80-minute block. So that is what the bell schedule looks like, and as you notice, the last block starts at 2:45 and ends at 4:10, which is our regular release time. So this will be covered in the grade level presentation, so I want to also go over these frequently asked questions myself, because I think you need to hear it from me as far as getting clarification on some of your major questions. So the most common and frequent question that we are getting is, will my child receive a laptop or electronic learning device, and when will this happen? So you may have heard or seen on our social media page that we have been distributing some laptops to our early college students, and these are typically our juniors and seniors in most cases, who are taking college classes through South Texas College. The reason we did this and we prioritized those students is because classes for STC started on August 24th, and they are 100% online. So we have to get laptops into the hands of those students as soon as possible before their classes started. So we did have an inventory of computers and laptops on hand before all of this happened, but they were intended for school use. We did not have enough for every student to have a laptop, so they were shared. Because of the pandemic, we've used those to distribute to students so that they can keep them and use them at home while they're learning. But we did not have enough for every student. So PSJA ordered enough learning devices for every student in all of PSJA. However, as you may have seen in the board meetings and in the news, there's been a supply issue. So we have not received those laptops yet, but we are expected to receive them over the coming 3 to 4 weeks, with the last of them arriving at the end of September or the beginning of October. So the answer to your question is yes, any student who needs a device will receive a device. However, we ask for your patience, as the shipments are not due to arrive until late September. In the meantime, we are offering learning packets for those students who do not have access to a learning device or Wi-Fi at home. Over the next few weeks, as we receive incremental shipments, we will begin to distribute those to our students. As we have finished giving out devices to our dual credit students, our next priority is those parents and students who have requested a laptop, who are in special populations, such as a special education program, because we want to get the laptops into their hands as soon as possible. But as we get more devices, we will continue to distribute those to you. So we thank you at Southwest Circuit College High School for your patience and understanding. Our goal is to get a laptop or electronic learning device into the hands of every child who requests one, and that will happen. It's just taking longer than we expect and we had hoped for. Another question is, if my child requires special education services or 504 accommodations, will they receive them? And the answer is yes, of course. All services will continue, and they will be available via online delivery, and we will continue to have our normal ARD and 504 meetings. These will be held virtually as well by appointment. So the caseworkers will be contacting you throughout the year to hold those meetings. As I mentioned before, uniforms are not required. However, students are expected to dress appropriately for classroom sessions. The question is, will my child be required to turn their camera and microphone on during instruction? And the answer is not always, not continuously, but as needed if they are called on by the teacher. So just like being in a regular classroom, sometimes the teacher will call on your child to make sure that they are understanding, to make sure that they're paying attention. And when they get called on, they may be asked to either turn on their microphone and respond, or turn on their camera and respond, or both. If your child requires special accommodations and they're uncomfortable using their camera or microphone, just communicate with the teacher, let us know, and we'll figure out a way that we can best accommodate your child. The question is, if my child is using learning packets, how will they turn in their work? Well, we have staff that's going to be on hand every day to make phone calls home for attendance and for support. So some of the ways that students can turn in their work for grades is they can take a picture of it with their cell phone and they can email it as an attachment to the teacher. Or if necessary, they can demonstrate their understanding over the phone as they're talking to our staff, and the teacher can take that as a grade. The ideal situation, of course, will be to complete the work through Google Classroom at minimum on their phone, and to turn it in as an attachment through email. What if my child cannot follow the bell schedule that I shared with you earlier? So again, asynchronous instruction is available. However, the student needs to check in to every class daily before midnight. Will my child be able to participate in sports during the pandemic? That is still under discussion at our district level, but as of now, UIL has allowed limited in-person participation in some sports. Our athletics team will have a better answer for us in about a week. So we'll know if there will be some contact sports happening this fall season. We're hoping that our kids are able to participate in some way. Will tutoring be offered? Yes, we will continue to have after-school tutoring and Saturday tutoring during the usual hours. It will be online, virtual, so it'll be from 4:15 to 5 o'clock each day, and from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturdays. Where can I find my class schedule? So as I mentioned before, we encourage you to use Home Access Center. The schedules are posted on there now. If you cannot remember your email or password, again, as a student, any teacher or a counselor or administrator, or even your librarian can provide you with your student email and can reset your password. If you are a parent and you need help accessing Home Access Center, you can call our campus and speak to any PEMS clerk, and they can help you access Home Access Center. So that concludes the introduction. And before I go, I just want to quickly share with you the webpage and what that looks like. So our webpage is found at psjaisd.us/Javelinas. And I encourage all of you to bookmark our webpage, maybe even make it your home screen, because the information on there can be very useful to you. It has different tabs. This About Us tab will tell you a little bit about our school, what we offer, our mission statement. There's a principal's message. There's also a campus administration section where you can see our administration, all of our email addresses, so you can contact us directly. And there is the same page for the counselors, where you can see all of our counselors, the students that they serve by alphabetical order, a little bit about each counselor and their emails. And it has some information on dual enrollment, important dates to remember, a social emotional learning page for when students feel anxiety or depression, or they need advice on certain things. And again, a page just for the emails of the counselors. There's an academics tab for Meet the Teacher, for example. That's where you can go right now after you finish this video, click on Meet the Teacher, and you will have there the different grade levels in English and Spanish that are recorded for you to watch. There's also our bell schedule on there, both for online instruction and for regular in-person instruction. There's information on e-learning, how to log into Google Classroom. We will be posting our Google Classroom codes here in the next day or two for the start of the school year. And there's information for Blackboard, which is the e-learning platform for dual credit classes through South Texas College. There's information on athletics that will need to be filled out, and fine arts. And there's also a page for the Go Center, which is a place within our campus that assists our seniors with college applications and scholarships. Our library has a page. This is a very good section for our parents. This has links to our Home Access Center, our student handbook and code of conduct, online registration, parent classes, and then it takes you to the district page for frequently asked questions. And then there's a resource for our teachers, as well as a calendar. On the home page, you will see a banner with announcements, and you will see some headlines and features here with some shortcuts on the left side. So again, I highly encourage you to bookmark our webpage and to use it to gain all kinds of useful information. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for visiting with us today virtually for Meet the Teacher. I hope that you have all of your questions answered today. And of course, if you have any additional questions, please reach us via email or contact us directly at 956-354-2480, which is our campus number. We do have several people answering the phones, and we ask for your patience, as sometimes we're not able to answer every call that comes in at the same time. But please bear with us. Thank you for your partnership in the education of your child. Let's have a great year. We look forward to it. Thank you and God bless you.